Let's go to the next one with the Democrats, right? Where the story comes up here, Rob. Can you tell me what page that is where it says the Democratic Party's trust is at the lowest in 16 years? I think I read it. One of you guys had that as a story that you wanted to give comments on.
Bottom of 11.
Bottom of 11. Okay, thank you, Tom. So it says Democratic Party unfavorable rating hit 16-year high, okay? 16-year high. Let's read this.
Good.
And
is my reaction.
Okay, great. But I'll give you why I think, because you said something else. They thought they were going to win. So, here we go. Quinnipiac poll finds the Democratic Party unfavorable rating at 57%, the worst since the poll began tracking, while only 31% of voters view the party favorable, leaving them 26 points underwater. Meanwhile, the Republican Party is in a much stronger position with 43% favorable and 45% unfavorable, making them only 2 points underwater, a 12-point advantage over the Democrats' favorability and 12 points lower than unfavorability. Trump's numbers are stronger than both parties with a 46% job approval rating against 43, placing him 3 points above. In real clear politics, poll average, Trump is doing even better at 49.4% approval at 44.8 disapproval, giving him a 4.6% lead. Even Trump's favorability in the RCP average is positive at 48.9 approval and 47. Anyways, we see all these polls. But here's where I go. So, would you consider Martina Navratilova conservative?
No.
Absolutely
Would
not.
you say she wakes up in the morning and her screensaver has a Trump picture on there, fight? What are the chances of that?
It's probably with Kathy Griffin holding his head
Right.
off of a...
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
So Trump yesterday is at his office, okay, with kids. Rob, if you can actually pull up, is this the video of the kids coming there?
Yes.
But is Trump speaking there? It's
No,
the one,
I have a better video of that.
Get the one of him signing. So for me, I'm going basic common sense. I just came from this morning. I came from Dylan was singing. So I went to church to be with Dylan, and he's doing his thing. And I come out. We had a very interesting morning about what he should wear. That's a complaint. My biggest debates are dealing with this guy's fashion because he's so firm on what he wants to wear. Where's the one, Rob, with him around the kids signing the order? You just had it. There you go. Watch this here. Watch this. Go ahead.
Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay?
Who relates to this?
What a nice picture.
100% of common sense parents.
You ready?
Who relates
Do a
to
good
this?
job. Wait, let me press
Girl
that.
dads, girl moms. Who relates to this? Anybody
I
and
wanna make
everybody
this
that
a
wants
really
their
good
kids
signature.
to be able to
This is-
compete
this
and
is a
do what
big
they
one,
want to
right?
do, right? So, common sense, women's sports compete against
I think we have
women.
a 10.
Right.
And a lot of sports
have
and
a
men
10.
are open, meaning if you want to compete as a woman,
Go for it.
you can. All right, so now watch this. Go to Martina Navratilova. Go to Martina Navratilova's tweet if you could, Rob.
Well, if
And
that was Joe Biden, Pat, he'd be smelling all those kids.
watch this here. Watch what she says. I hate that the Democrats totally failed women and girls on this very clear issue of women's sports being for females only. Says, I believe she's a lesbian tennis player.
yeah.
Right? And by the way, go in the
Definitely
comment
lesbian.
section. Go in the comment section. I'm with you. However, I truly believe that the trans and sports issue was blown way out of proportion. A successful tactic by ours, Republicans. Media won't tell you. And woke liberals are clueless. If you keep going down, you would see folks who are liberals, okay? I'm so glad the movement has you. Never stop trying to change their minds. Remind them that the movement is filled with Democrats and liberal women. I'm trying to just do that. Thanks, right? They're going through, and she's responding. Easiest way to include everyone is staff. COED, what is that word? Intramural sports on all levels. They should have universal scholarship. What does that mean, universal scholarship program? So she's responding. Like she actually wants to hear people out.
Yeah.
Guess what? When you say this isn't a Republican or Democratic thing, Chris, Democrats had 4 years to sell their ideas. Vaccine, you take it, it won't spread. Bullshit. Trump, Russia, bullshit. Hillary Clinton, 35 million. If you, nothing wrong with puberty blockers. It's not fair. The state of Florida, we may have to move because my daughter, who, he knew he was a girl. He can't take she can't take her puberty blockers. And we have to watch this video. So puberty blockers at 16 years old, at 10 years old. What are you talking about? Guy sends me a picture yesterday. Says, Pat, I don't think you understand what was really going on Manect. And he sends me this picture of an organization called Plume, Plume. Can you type this, Rob? Go to Plume. Plume. Go right there. You have it right there. Just type in go to the website. Gender affirming hormone therapy and everyday care. Right? And you go lower, and guess what it says? With or without insurance, essentials you need to get your gender journey. So these moments, Chris, they lost so many people that even the common sense Democrats said, "I'm out of here."
So Stephen A. said something great on Bill Maher the other day. The truth is rarely easy for everybody to hear. He said, for all of these people trying to wonder how you could vote for someone like Donald Trump, change the question. The question is, what does it tell you that more people in America saw Donald Trump, for all we know about him, as closer to normal than the Democrats?
Yeah.
That's the question you have to be asking. And once you ask that, a lot of things start to be very clear to you. This issue, okay, what's the strength of this issue? It is a common sense vibe, not just for girl dads. You know, I mean, you and I are girl dads, but I don't think you have to be.
I agree.
You don't want somebody like you or like me playing against a female, okay? That's a no-brainer. The Democrats miss that because of what? The nuances of the issue. You have a better chance of being struck by lightning than playing against a transgender female athlete. This is a very bullied class of people, and the last thing they need is more pressure on them as being a problem. Those are fair points, but they don't remove the common sense aspect of what this is. And if it happens so rarely, then don't worry about the prohibition then, because you're not really affecting that many people anyway. So you might as well do what seems to be common sense to the majority of the country. That's what this issue was about. And the left found itself in a dynamic that we've seen the right in also. This is the problem with the binary system. They are co-opted by their fringe. Radicals that fight their own culture wars their own way, which is not that everything is okay. If somebody wants it, it's okay. Okay, that's America. No, that's not what I'm saying, Pat. You have to say it the same way. You have to believe it the way they want you to believe it. You have to let your kids use the vocabulary and the ideas that these people want for themselves. You have to use it also. If they want to be called something, you have to say that. And your kids have to be taught that. That's where the left lost the country, was that you do not do this in this country. You do you, I do me. That ends as soon as what you do for you becomes what I have to do for me. That's where they lost the narrative. And we saw that with canceling. So if I were to question this, look, you know how many times I've said this? You don't want somebody my size playing against your 16-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. And people come, show me somebody your size doing it. I don't have to show you. I'm telling you, you don't want that. So to the extent that it's possible, you don't want it. You're a bigot. Why am I a bigot? Because you're basically saying that all trans females are your size. No, I'm not. I don't know that any are my size. I'm saying that as a possibility, it's something that you should rule out. It offends common sense. Mm-hmm. No, you're putting your mores on these other people. You're judging. You should be canceled. You shouldn't be in your position. It happened immediately. That's why their numbers are where they are. That's the answer for the left. The question is, how do they get back to what makes sense?
Let me follow up with that. Your entire family life, politics, Democrat, you've seen things change. Mario Cuomo, your father,
the party doesn't even resemble his party. Trump's base was Mario Cuomo's base.
So watch what you just said right there. Okay, so 2-term your father, 2-term your 3-term your father, 2-term your brother. Also 3 terms?
Yeah, his got cut a little short. I'll tell you the story later. You may not have heard. I'll tell you.
I haven't, but maybe one of these days if we have time. No, but the point is, here's the question for you. Tell me why people voted Democrat when your father was a governor in New York, and where Democrats were winning then and where are Democrats winning today? Like if you were to say, I still believe the Democrats have the edge with the American people in 1, 2, 3. Okay, so go Pop's first term. Go now.
So the argument for Democrats with Pop. Okay, what was Pop? He was you. Not even, right? Because you were born somewhere else. Pop was first generation American, not seen as white. Pop got described a lot of the ways that you deal with when people start exposing you, right? Well, he's an ethnic. He's swarthy. He's an other, right? That's who I'm a white guy, okay? My father wasn't. So he was speaking for people like that. They say we're not good enough. They say we don't belong. They say that they get to tell us how to be and who we are, and that we don't get to succeed or fail on our own merits. I'm going to fight them. He was the original anti-elitist. When my father found out I was being recruited, I wanted to go to an Ivy League school. He was so disappointed. He was only disappointed that much one other time in my life, which was when I decided to leave the law and finance and go into the media. His joke was, why can't you do something that matters more to society, like sell crack? That was his feeling when I went into the media. But when I wanted to go to an Ivy League school, he was like, do you know what they think of me? Do you know what those people thought about me? And that was his sell to people. I know they think you're not good enough. They're wrong. And their rules will not apply to all of us. That was the sell, the working man. What was the union about? Civil liberties. And what is the government keeping us from? That was his sell. And it was, what was his tagline? All the government you need, but only the government you need. Mm-hmm. That was his tagline. What is it now? It's welcome to the freak show. The Democrats flipped their narrative to, hey, this culture war keeps beating us. So let's have our own version of it, which is inclusion, acceptance, and anybody who doesn't want to include and accept as we do, we'll get rid of. And that's why their numbers are where they are. The AOC mentality, look, I'm not a straight hater on AOC. I respect success. She's built a real following for herself.
There's no question.
You got to respect that. She's got passion and she's got purpose. But this is politics. And her calling Musk an idiot.
But what are they winning today, Chris?
Well, they win. They still win.
If you were to say, these are the two issues. Okay, they were the anti-war party. Okay, well, they killed a guy that didn't want war. Okay, they were the little man party. Let's take care of the little guy, the guy that, that's not the case anymore, right? They were so what is their party now? Who are they for?
Look, I know their numbers are very underwater. And again, it makes sense. By the way, nobody's doing well. Republicans just had an historic victory that nobody thought would happen. They're underwater. Trump has better numbers. Let's see where he is in 5 months. He's at 46. He could easily be at 42, which is where most presidents are. So, but within that structure, what do we see? Okay. They lost this election by like this much, but they never lose the popular vote. It's very rare. So for them to lose,
I want to ask this one question, Chris. This is the only thing I want to get an answer on. I asked Ian Bremmer. He couldn't answer it. I asked
where
Ro
are they
Khanna,
winning?
What is the issue, 1, 2, 3 issues that the average day-to-day person says, I agree with the Democrats on these 3 issues?
The issues that they campaign on to win are in the major population centers, that minorities are disadvantaged by Republican policies, that the working class are disadvantaged by Republican fiscal policies, and that Trump is crazy, and that you have a brand of conservatives that are radical Christian, and if they're not Christian, they're just radical conservative that is bad for America as a place for everyone. Those are their 3 big spots.
I don't know if I agree with. Let's just say the first one. Okay,
I'm not saying that they're right. I'm saying that's their pitch.
No, but that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, where are they winning?
Nowhere.
Where are they winning?
Well, they just lost this, but look at the House. They lost by 1 seat. So obviously they're winning campaigns. Right.
They're
winning campaigns. You have a Senate advantage. This was supposedly historic. Trump says he has the biggest mandate ever. Okay, you adjust for hyperbole. He's got a 3-seat advantage in the Senate. It's nowhere near a historic margin. He has a 1 or 2 seat, depending on how you look at it, advantage in the House. So the idea that, the Democrats are losing everything all the time, we're not seeing, except at the state level. You look at governorships and state houses, the Democrats have been getting their clocks cleaned. Why? Because what they say doesn't match what they do. And that's their problem. They are not for the working man. They're not for regular families. They are for small percentage, niche cultural agendas.
Tom.
Chris, you said a couple of things, and let's unpack it. You said, we are for the you poor people that have had injustice, and you've suffered, and they think that Trump is crazy. Well, wait a minute. There was a little bit of a hypocrisy, not you, but within the argument with them on trans. Injustice is exactly what Leah Thomas delivered to women that had been training as swimmers for their entire, not adult, but their entire developed lives. And suddenly they felt this terrible injustice, not by Renee Richards, who, by the way, deeper into Martina Navratilova, she played tennis against someone who went through a full physical and hormonal transition, not a change of mind, and then shocked female athletes looking over there says, as Leah Thomas changed the locker room, says, those are male genitals. She's still making testosterone. He just changed his mind. And they're like, this is a terrible injustice.
I get it.
This isn't protecting Renee Richards. And by the way, Martina Navratilova and Renee Richards came of age and came out of the closet at a time it was really hard to do so. And we can talk about bravery and guts on something different. But this was a terrible injustice. And then America said, wait, we're crazy? You're crazy. Yeah. A girl gets knocked out in a high school volleyball.
I agree.
America went the other way and says, injustice? This is injustice, and you are crazy. And isn't that what flipped?
I get it. I just don't get the America thing. This is a niche issue. It was used very well in the campaign. It is a common sense issue. I don't disagree with your rationale on it.
So I'm saying,
I'm just saying the idea that this is why people voted, I don't think so. I think it was more of a feel issue.
But I'm going to lower your taxes.
Issue?
So
yeah, made people feel that, you're not really in touch with me. I care about the economy. I care about immigration. Those are my two big ones. Foreign depends on what we're talking about. This is a feel issue. I don't think we're on the same page. I care about other things more, but this makes me feel like you're not getting me. And that matters in politics. I'm just saying the idea that this is, like the 1965 Voter Rights Act, I don't think that that's what it is. You don't have the numbers of people expressing this reality that would make it something where you have to do something about it right away. I'm not arguing with the rationale. I get it. I get what the concern is. I'm just saying I see it as more political than practical.
Okay, then what are the black and white issues like Arizona, people in Arizona? They saw the homelessness. They saw the immigrants in their town.
That's a better one.
That's not feel when I see these people
That's
in
a
front
better
of
one.
wall. Okay.
That's a better
one. And then your taxes are going to go down. We're going to take your taxes down, and we're going to fix immigration. What are the Dems saying in like a very black and white way like that?
That is a much, much better argument for you guys to be making. Immigration is the biggest failure for Democrats since the New Deal.
What are the black and white issues that the Dems are making right now?
Well,
that people should be listening to and saying,
now, they're
hey,
not
that's a better way. You should listen to it.
Well, hold on. First of all, as with people saying, let's judge what Trump has done since he's gotten in office, why aren't eggs less expensive? That's not fair. What are Democrats selling right now? Nothing. They're reeling. I'm still getting emails on my phone this moment from Kamala Harris, the Fight Fund. So they have not moved forward. Okay? They are in a paroxysm of pain and self-doubt and blaming in-house. USAID money. These people took in billions of dollars. They don't know where it went. And now they're asking me for more? I mean, look, everybody, I get the Trump ones. I get all of them. Yeah. But my point is, they're not selling anything right now. They're figuring it out. That's not an unusual place to be.
I'm curious to know how they're going to figure it out.
After you got knocked out.
By the way, 60 Minutes, did you see the unedited version they released?
It opens up with her going, there's a mole in this room.
What do you think about the whole 60 Minutes
problem with that
situation?
story from the beginning was you edit every interview. You edit every interview. I've edited every interview I've ever done with Trump, unless it was live. Why? Because that's what you do. You have a certain amount of time. You're trying to fit it in.
But there's editing versus putting a different answer in to make that answer.
Everybody knows you're not allowed to do that. Everybody knows you're not allowed to do that.
Did they do that?
And here's the standard. Some people, it's subjective, but here's the standard. So I ask you, how you doing? You say, good, but the other day, and then you go down a road. I have to use the beginning of the answer. What you can do is then edit within that answer something that makes a different editorial point that you want to make. That's okay. There is an argument here that that's not what was done. And by 60 Minutes of all people to be in this position is really embarrassing, and it is a clear indication. 60 Minutes isn't what it was anymore, okay? They don't have people who are recognized as the best in the business, doing the job on issues that are topical, and everybody wants to be there. It's just another media product now. It's not what it was. And they have things to answer for here. And the silence shouldn't be acceptable. Just like it shouldn't be acceptable for anybody else when they ask them their questions and you get a no comment. They're not explaining it, and that's on them.
And can I say one quick thing to the women, male, transgender, LGBT? It wasn't, Chris. I completely disagree. It's not a niche thing when you have 1 out of 4 kids now in high school are either what? Non-binary, gay in that community. The White House flying the LGBTQ flag, bringing transgenders at the White House. They're flashing their breasts. All the push on all these kids and all these drugs. It's not a niche issue. It was just an issue that Republicans and the conservatives put their hand down. They're like, no, you're not going to F with our kids. But the left kept pushing. They're like, no, a 6-year-old can decide.
The far left.
Like a far left, but
And,
I know
and
a
the
lot
main
of
left was quiet.
Would you say Kamala's far left?
Kamala was just supporting
But
them.
I wanna say that-
I think she moved like they all do, right? To well, this was weird because it was an artificial process.
Pre-election,
But,
pre-running.
Pre-election,
Was
she was far left.
Yeah.
And then, she does what a lot of politicians do. She moves to where she needs to be to win that particular thing. So when she was running for attorney general in California, she was saying one kind of thing about law and order. Then when you want to be on the national stage as senator, you say something else about law and order. That's typical politics, but they are absolutely co-opted, or they have been, by their left fringe. And they have to deal with it and figure out what they want to do.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard one Democrat though go anti-LGBTQ pushing it on the kids. All of it. I haven't heard one.
There's no need. There's
Well,
a difference between being anti-diversity of type and what you force on people. There's a very stark difference. And Democrats or anybody, you're not going to be successful in American politics if you think in any way you get to tell people what to think or how to feel.
Of course.
You will lose.
Of course. And when it comes to, because you guys have kids, I don't, but pushing it on the kids, and we are, like, and again, they push the homophobic, that's all transphobic, that's all BS. We're not. But you're pushing it, and to pretend that it's a niche thing, we are the gayest we've ever been as a nation. And that's just a fact. So I don't think it's a niche.
Not as a podcast, as a nation.
No, as a nation.
I get it.
But
I
possibly
thought you
as a
said,
podcast,
Adam,
too.
go ahead.
Maybe.
We'll see.
But there's no judgment.
That's true. We're not
Well,
going to judge you.
sounds like a judgment. I don't think it
If you
should
know
be a
anything
judgment.
about PBD, he's never going to judge you.
No,
and never judge
I
me.
wouldn't do that.
How old are you?
But go
How
ahead.
long you know me, Pat? Look, Pat asked a very simple question. Where are the Democrats winning these days? I think there's only one answer, and it's with woke liberal women who are
View.
pro-abortion, who are anti-capitalist, pro-socialist, pro-DEI, anti-MEI. It's glaringly apparent that they've lost regular dudes, they've lost families, they've lost people with kids. Just anyone with common sense looks at the Democratic Party and they're like, where the hell do they even stand for these days?
I think that's
you
true.
You tried to basically say...
Although I don't think women see themselves as pro-abortion.
I think a lot of women who men don't even want to have sex with, who are basically saying no sex, no relationships, no dating, no kids. They're like, we're not going to do that during the Trump administration. You take a look at what they look like and you're like, yeah, nobody's going to date you anyway, honey. Sorry, baby. But, we tried to equivocate by basically like Republicans are underwater, Democrats are underwater. Nah. Republicans are underwater 2%, Chris.
They're still underwater.
2%. That's within the margin of error. Hold on.
But you're fighting about
Democrats
it
are
against a chump.
26% underwater. Don't act like that's the same.
I'm not
that's
saying
like
it's the
saying,
same.
hey, we
I'm
played a
saying-
football game. I lost by 2 points. Man, close game.
I'm not saying it's
that's
the
like
same.
saying the other team lost by 26
know.
points and you're acting like it's the same.
I
L.
understand.
No,
and
it's not.
And the louder you keep saying it, doesn't make it any
no,
more
Chris,
cogent.
But are you saying
what I'm
that,
telling
are you
you,
saying that 2 points is the exact opposite, exact same as
no,
26%?
I'm saying that
it's not
trust.
even close.
I'm saying that trust is at an all-time low. Okay, and that's why my point was that Republicans, after an historic victory that wasn't supposed to be able to happen, they're still underwater. Why? The American people are very disenchanted with the two-party system.
But Trump
Democrats,
is not underwater, though. Trump is plus 5%.
He
apparently.
is, and we'll. But by the way, that's
So the
not
Republicans are within the margin of
historically.
error.
But hold on.
Trump
Again,
is plus
if you
5.
wanna
Democrats
use-
are minus 26.
I'm with you.
How is that even the same? Though?
They're not the same,
Okay,
Adam.
thank
I'm
you.
saying look at them in context.
Yeah.
The president is where most are when they just win. Okay, so it's not out of the ordinary. Are the Democrats down lower than ordinarily? Yes, for good reason. What are they going to do about it? I have no idea. Well, I'm in the business of watching and making sense as we go. But the idea of why are they so low, I think it makes perfect sense. And I think you're basically articulating it. I think that what are they going to do about it? I don't know. I have no idea.
Let me give you a quick little story. This is about a year ago. I'm in Miami. I'm with a girlfriend of mine. And she goes, hey, real quick, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I go, okay, cool. I'm waiting for the bathroom. She walks out of the bathroom and literally one second
has a
behind
penis.
her. No, she had definitely not have a penis.
That was the other
believe me.
one.
Behind her walks out a dude in a dress with a full-on beard, like a Vinny beard.
Like one of my relatives.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
And I go, I'm very basically unshy. I go, whoa, what is this? What is this all about? She goes, no, man, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I go, don't say anything. It's a dude in a dress with a beard. And he's just like, walks the other. And I go, hun, like, how do you not? She's like, stop it. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. I go, don't be mean. What is this? It's clearly not a woman. It's a dude it's Vinny in a dress. She's like, stop it. You're being like mean. I go, who gives a shit about mean? It's a full on dude. So who's right and who's wrong? Am I in the wrong because I want to say something, or is she in the wrong because she doesn't want to offend this guy? That's basically the parable of what's happening right now, is that me being mean.
I don't know the point of that story.
The point is,
Me either.
that's the conversation that's being
loud,
had.
But I will
obnoxious.
tell
That's
you,
the
podcast.
conversation that's being had.
He just wanted to give the girl a shot.
No, not at all.
The one with the beard, not the girl. The one with the penis.
Yeah, that's right.
He's a fan of the show.
But that's exactly what's happening right now. Is that
Matter of
people
fact,
don't
he's
want to
here.
call
Come on
out.
in, John.
Come on,
Let's go,
Johnny.
Johnny.
Bring your balls
No,
in
no.
here.
I think it's fair.
This is the reason.
I think it's
why
fair.
There's
I get what you're
tampons
saying.
Tampons
There's
in men's bathrooms.
there's no question that, again, like I said about 15 minutes ago, the left went way too far on what they wanted to describe as normal and what they wanted to insist everybody else must agree with. And that's where they lost the country.
There's one big difference, and this is what I think, and we'll move on to the next story. The only big difference to me is I think this is a 1965 type of moment. I think this is a, Barry Goldwater, Lyndon Johnson type of a moment where the voter rights and civil rights and African Americans voting 30% more on the Democratic side than I think the left lost a chunk that I don't think it's coming back. I think they lost a chunk that's not coming back. And
Look, I hope that's true for another reason, by the way. What else did we see in this election that we've never seen before? More people voted as independent than did as Democrat, almost as many as Republican. That is your no longer black swan. People are sick of the parties. You know who else is sick of the parties? President Donald John Trump. He is not really pro-Republican. You hear him talk about Republicans very rarely.
I agree.
So that's the
he's-
best hope for us.
I think he's the first independent president we've ever had. I don't think he's Republican.
I think he is damn close, certainly in our lifetime. That
Who else would you put him as an independent president? Reagan wasn't independent.
I think that you've had a couple. I think that if you looked at Clinton, Clinton could have made a case.
I don't disagree.
Of being in either party. It was a different kind of case. He wasn't an outrage guy.
He was a conservative Democrat.
Yeah. So I think that most people have fallen along that line, which is why they used to get so much done. There wasn't that much daylight between them.
For President's Day, we have a limited edition merch that you can go order on vtmerch.com for President's Day. Bunch of cool stuff. This one right here, look, whatever you do, if you're not going to order anything, order this one.
That one
It
is
is
badass.
absolutely sick. This is an actual photo taken of Abraham Lincoln with the glasses when he said future looks bright.
Yes.
And he said, by the way, one of the best things is he says, there was a tweet about Abraham Lincoln on Twitter. He says, don't believe everything on the internet, something like that. When I used to tweet back in the days, it's just funny. But anyways, hey, President's Day, we got Abraham Lincoln shirt. Future looks bright. It's sick. The quality is the best. Feel the quality, Chris. How sick this is.
The Abe Lincoln thing is
Chris,
great.
wake
man.
up.
Future looks bright. Let's go to the
We
theater.
got Future Looks Bright sweaters. We got a bunch of other gear here. Whatever you do, go to vtmerch.com. Place the order. You get a White House sticker and a Future Looks Bright sticker. I got my Future Looks Bright sticker and Valuetainment sticker on the back of my phone. And I think it's what's the number here?
I gave my inaugural shirt, the white one that I wore on the show.
Yeah.
I gave it to a very good friend of mine who loves you guys. And he gave me a great idea about Future Looks Bright.
What's that?
He says, you know what it is? He says, it's a secret test, Future Looks Bright. I was like, no, I don't think it is. I think Pat's just trying to be optimistic. He goes, exactly. If anybody looks at my shirt and says Future Looks Bright and has a problem with it, he goes, they're an Americant. He said, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, that is true. What would be your problem
Yeah, with
with
that?
it? future looks bright.
That's right.
Why don't you want the future to look bright?
And by the way, while you're
I
saying,
think he had an Ellsworth Sosnick version of that.
it could have. But anyways, the future looks bright. We also have for President's Day, we have a 47% off for 47. Rob, if you want to go to that category as well, there's a bunch of things there.
Did I see
Go
that these
place your
shirts are only
order.
$18 now?
Yes.
Wow,
sale.
that's
It's
a
a sale.
deal.
Yeah, for sure. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order, especially the Lincoln one, because that one is limited. It'll go very, very quickly. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.